Good morning. It is 6:46 a.m. on Saturday, February 28th, 2015. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I probably wouldn't normally even be up this early, but I went to bed early last night. Just feeling tired. I think I've been shorting myself sleep by habit for a while now, so I think I need to get that back under control. Anyway, though, I guess the thing that I want to talk about today is, certainly was, common news in geeky circles yesterday, which of course was that Leonard Nimoy, the actor who played Mr. Spock, died yesterday. So, or at least it was announced yesterday. I didn't actually read any of the articles or anything. I mean, I know that a couple of days prior he had to go to the hospital, and so it was kind of a waiting game. I didn't really tweet or write anything yesterday about it, other than just retweeting his final tweet, which was kind of poignant. But I don't know, I just kind of felt like I needed to process my feelings a little bit. I was at work when I read it, and wasn't kind of fully allowing myself to feel it. I mean, this is not like someone personally close. This is not like a family member. But at the same time, Mr. Spock as a character has just been this icon of the imagination for pretty much my whole life. I mean, the original series was around before I was. But so as a little kid, I feel like my first exposure to it was probably the cartoon, which, lucky me that I ended up moving past that. Although, maybe I should rewatch some of those episodes. Maybe they hold up. I don't know. My guess is that people would talk more about them if they did. But the point is, Star Trek has always just, it's always been a thing as long as I can remember. And Mr. Spock, he's just like this iconic aspect to it. Now, I love Shatner and Kirk as well. And honestly, it was really the Next Generation that was my Star Trek. And I didn't come to as full an appreciation of the original cast until later. Although I did watch the movies. Spock is just, he's always been there. One of the great things about the original cast is you have that trio of Kirk, Bones, and Spock. And they're so archetypal and so complementary to one another that they just feel sort of like geek bedrock. You know what I mean? Like, they represent kind of some of the fundamental building blocks of not just science fiction, but any kind of storytelling. But certainly they are the blocks, they're the Lego blocks that come from the space set. And so it's a little bit strange, even though rationally you certainly understand that, they're human beings. Leonard Nimoy was a human being, and Spock was not even all he did. He did lots of other things. But, and so you understand that, obviously, this is, a time comes when it happens to everyone. But sometimes it still feels as though the idea of Spock and what his character kind of represents in the larger cultural imagination. What I was going to say is it feels strange because that feels so permanent, and then you realize it's not. But then what I realized actually is that it is still, because this is a prime example of something that, even though sadly Leonard Nimoy has died, he created and represented something that will live on in a very fundamental way in, science fiction and geek imagination. And, like, I think maybe that's one of the greatest things a person can aspire to, is to help create something that's meaningful to people and is so enduring that it can continue giving even after you're gone. Well, in any case, without making this too maudlin, I feel like even now that I'm talking about it, I'm getting more emotional. So maybe I'll just, I'm over 5 minutes, so maybe I'll just go ahead and leave it here, Live long and prosper. And to everyone out there, keep a little Spock in your heart. All right. Remember, I do everything and put it over at ChristianaEllis.com, and I will talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.